Pauline, for coming today and bringing some objects in to show us. We would like to ask you a few questions.
That would be lovely. As you can see, the theme for the school magazine this month is Lest We Forget.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Bullow and I'm from the school magazine. I'm here at Mudgee Primary School today with Linda Baddock, who's the Stage 3 teacher here. This year at the school magazine, we've decided to take a topic-based approach to our magazines. And in April 2019, our issue 3 magazine, the theme is Lest We Forget. So we decided to trial a pilot project and we asked a school to be involved with us. And Mudgee Primary School came on board very, very willingly. What were the first steps that you encouraged them to take, or what was the first thing they had to do?
The theme for the school magazine this month is Lest We Forget. And I thought it would be a great idea if we could all go down to the local cenotaph and research some local soldiers and make history come alive through you doing lots of your own research.
When you came back with photos of the cenotaph and there were all the names on it, how did the students go about choosing a soldier to research?
Well, some of them chose local people that they already knew.
Students actually recognised local names.
Some chose relations, some chose people just based on their name.
Jack Delph. Thomas Oliver.
And thought he sounds like an interesting character to research. Typically, they straight away went to Google and Googled the soldier's name. And what happened then was that they actually didn't find much information.
Right.
And their first instinct was to throw up their hands and say, we can't find anything.
A wonderful part of this research project was the resilience that the children had to develop as they were researching so many different sites and looking and digging deeper. And then once they had found the relevant information, choosing different ways that they could present it via poems, stories, diary entries, websites, PowerPoints, and it was great that they had ownership of it and they felt really empowered to present this information.
So what did you do then? So did you use outside agencies? Or what other resources did you use?
Well, initially I contacted the War Memorial and their education service and asked them did they have any ideas of how we could go about that, and they were very helpful. We were also encouraged to look up the National Archives of Australia. The students actually took it on themselves to find sites that they thought would be have a bit more information, like local graveyards, sites, World War I honour rolls, lots of things like that, but actually dig a bit deeper.
Well, that's great.
And we'll research a little bit deeper than just going onto the internet and typing in the soldier's name.
How did you go about finding local members in your community to come in and talk to students about their stories?
We'll get people from our local community to come in. Some of you may even have friends and family that can bring in lots of artefacts and things to talk to us.
And children were offering their relatives and things that they would like to come and share their stories with us.
Great. And how important was it to you to have actual real people come in with real relatable stories as opposed to just finding information on Google?
I think it was really important right at the end of the research, so it was much more valuable when the students actually heard stories firsthand. It made it much more personal. It made them see from a different point of view, not just a website. It made them develop their empathy, and it just made the whole thing come to life.
And when they were asking questions of these, did you pre-prepare them or script them, give them questions to ask, or was it something they came up with themselves?
No, I left that in their hands, and I think once they'd researched basically the horror of war, their questions were more focused on the personal impacts of war, and the questions reflected that, and I was very proud of how much they actually got involved with the actual person, not so much the horror.
And so what do you think's been the biggest learning experience for the students and probably for yourself?
As a teacher, I felt it was not only relevant to the children, it taught them valuable lessons in research. It also taught them to look at war from different perspectives.
It's made them much more aware of the consequence of war. It's not just walking into a museum or something like that. It's brought it to life and made it much more meaningful.
You can see that Linda's done an amazing job with her students here, and you'll get to have a look at some of the amazing research that they've done, the projects that they've put together, and it really has been a fantastic experience for both Linda and the students here. They've learnt so much about what it means for people to go and serve and fight for our country. So what we're hoping by running this project with Mudgee is that the magazines themselves, the material in them, the poetry, the stories, the articles, will inspire you and your students to conduct a similar sort of research so that you're really delving into the material that's in the magazines, and it's taking them to a whole nother level.
I just think the value is extremely great, and I would recommend it to any other teacher.